Let's get right into it. Oh my gosh.
Hold up. There we go. Let's get right into it. We got a couple of videos to watch. We got Propaganda and Co. giving us a war update number 11 on Iran and Israel. Because it's really not us trying to fight, it's them. But yeah, we got an update number 11. Then we got Myron talking about feminism, and then we might watch Nick talking about losing the war, but I don't know if I really want to watch it twice, like them talking about the war twice, if that makes sense. Like it's like we either watch, but I don't want to. I don't want an hour of Nick talking about the war when we just finished watching Propaganda and Co. do it in 18 minutes. So it's like, we'll see what we're gonna do, but that is what's in the itinerary for today. But yeah, easy Friday, nothing too crazy. Hope everybody had a good day, and let's get right into it.
The bitch shaking it, showing it. You this, you that. We laughing at them together. Oh! So stop treating these mother like they mean something.
Let's go to TikTok. All right. Now, last thing I've heard on Iran Israel was the three boats and them putting out mines and them really going hard on the Strait of Hormuz. That's all I've really heard so far. And to date, I haven't really seen anything major. So I really want to hear what Propaganda and Co got to say, because I haven't seen anything major, but I haven't like really looked, but I haven't seen anything major like on social media that was like breaking news or anything like that, unless I missed something.
This is video update number 11 for the Iran war. There's major news to update you with from all over the war front. In this video, we are going to talk about the battle over oil prices, the Strait of Hormuz, false flag attacks in both the Gulf and the US, and Israeli air defenses. Earlier this week, Donald Trump and the G7 collaborated to try and suppress the rise of oil prices. As I explained in my previous update,
And the false flag attack, the false flag attacks, I think those are the ones that Sneeko and Nick were talking about in the last stream, where the Muslim guy, where with like Jake Lang and then the Muslim guy throwing a nail bomb or whatever.
video, Trump lied about the war being very complete, and the G7 announced they would be willing to release hundreds of millions of barrels of oil from their strategic reserves. The announcement itself was enough to cool the markets. As I predicted, however, this only temporarily kept prices low because it indicates that there will be a future need to resupply the strategic reserves. But also because Iran still controls the Strait of Hormuz. While Iran has proven that it can survive the powerful waves of attacks coming from both Israel and the United States, they are still taking damage and cannot rely fully on a prolonged war of attrition. So one of their goals is to ensure that they make this war a political headache for everyone involved. That means disrupting the lives of everyday citizens in the Gulf, Europe, and the United States. The best way to do that, of course, is to send prices skyrocketing via their control of the oil supply. So when Trump and the G7 moved to push oil prices down, Iran had to retaliate by pushing them back up. Well, they seem to have successfully done this in the last 24 hours by targeting a large tanker from Thailand.
New images near the Strait of Hormuz off Iran, where new attacks are now sending oil prices on another wild ride today. This is a Thai-flagged ship, one of at least 3 vessels that have been struck today in that critical waterway.
While trying to cross the Strait of Hormuz, an underwater vehicle or potentially an unmanned surface drone struck the ship, causing a fire in the engine room and tearing open a hole. This one attack is enough to warn all other vessels in the area to avoid attempting to cross the strait. This
because you gotta understand,
caused panic in the market, sending
it's not like niggas just have boats for days or some shit. Like they just stockpiled on boats. Like them boats cost money to repair. The shipment that they had cost money to get back. The resources that they had cost money to get. Like that's a heavy one. And then It's not like unless your company's just rich and you just don't give a fuck about the oil. Like, that's stupid.
Oil prices rising far above $90
a major hit
and will
right there.
likely surge towards $120 per barrel yet again. An IRGC general conducted an interview where he claimed that Iran also possessed one of the world's rarest and most sophisticated underwater missile that can travel 300 feet per second.
انواع مختلف موشک زیرآبی داریم. حواسشون جمع باشه. تنها کشوری که در دنیا موشک زیرآبی دارد دو تا کشور بیشتر نیستند. یکی کشور سازنده اولیه موشک یعنی روسیه، بعدم ما هستیم. اصلا اون موشک
قدرت شلیک از زیردریایی که به
نه زیردریایی، اصلا ما وضعیت خاصی رو داریم. موشک‌های زیرآبی که 100 متر در ثانیه سرعت حرکتشون هست. امریکایی‌ها طی 15 سال 20 میلیارد دلار هزینه کردن که به این سرعت در زیر آب دست پیدا کنن، نتونستن. ولی روس‌ها دست پیدا کردن. شوروی‌ها دست پیدا کرده بودن. ما مجهز به اون موشک هستیم.
He obviously gave this interview on purpose as a deterrent to scare off any other vessels considering a cross of the strait. Now I know what you're thinking. Did Iran really attack the Thai ship? Because while we know Iran needs to send oil prices surging, there are also false flag attacks being carried out across the region. You see, before the war started, the US produced clones of Iran's infamous Shahid drone. They claimed it was to use the enemy's own weapon against it, but it could also be a way to attack Iran's neighboring nations and blame it on them. Now, why would they want to do that? Well, as we have already covered in this series of update videos, the US and Israel are running low on the precision munitions and are struggling to keep up the pace of heavy bombardment over all of Iran without risking their inventory of precision weapons. Since China has a monopoly over the processing of rare earth materials that are used for the production of these precision guidance weapons, this produces an issue for the US and Israel when they need to resupply. And importantly, it is now clear that both the US and Israel are going to struggle to defeat Iran without ground forces, and they obviously need help clearing the Strait of Hormuz. The US and Israel don't want to bear the brunt of this attack, so they have been trying to convince the region as a whole to jump into the war. Lindsey Graham said it himself in an interview.
To my friends in Saudi Arabia, I've been your biggest champion. I think the Crown Prince has taken Saudi Arabia in a completely different direction in a good way. But here's what I want to say to Saudi Arabia tonight. I'm willing to do a mutual defense agreement with your country to give you protection in perpetuity. Under the agreement I've been pushing, and I hope we can continue to talk about, if you're attacked by Iran, we would go to war for you. To Saudi Arabia, our embassy was hit in Riyadh. Do you not have an obligation to join the fight with us? You've yet to do that. So if you do not believe the American embassy being attacked in Riyadh would trigger mutual self-defense, maybe we shouldn't do a treaty with you.
So far, there have been attacks on Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Oman that Iran has denied responsibility over. And the Saudis have already revealed that they arrested Mossad agents in their countries armed with explosives for a false flag attack. And just today, an Omani oil tanker was set on fire, which is highly suspicious given that Oman was crucial to helping Iran negotiate with the US and tried their very best to avoid this war. So it's abundantly clear what's happening here. The US and Israel need help, and they're trying to drag the entire region into the war so that they can bear the brunt of Iran's retaliation. So given that Iran is at war all across the region, primarily with the US, Israeli, CIA, and Mossad assets in the form of bases, radars, and air defenses, they also don't want to be at war with everyone all at once, as the situation's already bad enough. So why would they attack Azerbaijan or Turkey, nations that are fully capable of invading their territory? So for this reason, we need to understand that while Iran is certainly willing to attack certain naval vessels from certain nations in order to keep the straits closed and push oil prices up, there are also targets that Iran simply will not attack, at least in this moment in time, because of the risk of drawing more enemies against them during this conflict. If the entire Gulf jumped into this war, for example, there would be almost 400 naval ships in the strait fighting against Iran. This would definitely complicate Iran's ability to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed and would put them in a position where they have to attack and kill other Muslims. This is obviously an Israeli wet dream. Thankfully, however, both Iran and these neighboring states seem to understand this risk and are not falling for this trap set for them by both the US and Israel. Qatar's former Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Sheikh Hamad bin Jassim bin Jaber Al Thani cautioned in a post on X that the Gulf Cooperation Council states, otherwise known as the GCC, must not be dragged into a direct confrontation with Iran, even though Tehran violated the sovereignty of the Council states and was the aggressor. There are forces that want the Council states to become directly embroiled with Iran, but a direct clash between the Council states and Iran, if it occurs, occurs will deplete the resources of both sides and provide an opportunity for many forces to control us under the pretext of helping us escape the crisis. He urged the GCC to act as a single, unified hand in confronting any aggression while avoiding being picked off one by one. The remarks reflect a broader sentiment across the Gulf that this is not their fight. Faisal al-Mudahka, editor-in-chief of the Doha-based Gulf Times, put it bluntly. This is Israel and the US's war, and it has nothing to do with us. We are just stuck in this geopolitical location. Translation, we are not your Goyim cannon fodder to throw into the meat grinder so that Greater Israel can come into existence. However, the potential for false flags isn't just limited to the Middle East. Today, the media reported that Iran had sleeper cells all across the United States.
And a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border. But we know where most of them are. We've got our eye on all of them, I think. They came in through the open border policies of Sleepy Joe Biden.
Tensions rise overseas. Some U.S. officials are warning about the possibility of so-called sleeper cell attacks here at home. The term.
Damn. I'm just glad that we have the internet now, because imagine if we didn't have none of this shit no more. We didn't have any of this shit like the boomers did. Like, we just had to watch this bitch talk about the sleeper cells and Donald Trump say, yeah, might have sleeper cells. Niggas would really be scared out here, like, thinking that it's not fucking Israel blowing shit up. Because they have a track record for doing this. Please, like, this is not me just guessing. This is like me, like, pattern recognition.
Term is often used in talks about terrorism and foreign intelligence. Let's go to Morgan Stevens from the Fact Check team. And obviously, as I mentioned, we have heard the warnings from the White House, from lawmakers about this. What do Americans need to know?
Well, a sleeper cell is essentially a covert group of operatives. This is either spies or terrorists who infiltrate a target country or organization and remain inactive for a long period of time until an order comes in. They may hold regular jobs, have families, and blend into their communities so they don't raise suspicion, and they wait. Whether that's a direct message from a handler or coded communication before carrying out their mission. Those missions can range from espionage and intelligence gathering to sabotage or even terrorist attacks.
And concerns are obviously heightened right now. What are authorities saying about a potential attack? What are they telling you?
Well, earlier today, President Trump, he did speak to the press, and he said he's not concerned about a domestic terrorist attack on U.S. soil. And officials say there is no confirmed active Iranian sleeper cell network in the U.S., but lawmakers and security officials say it is a possibility that they're watching very closely. According to the North American and Arctic Defense and Security Network, they're a threat here because Iran knows it cannot win a head-to-head war against the U.S., so they'll pivot to proxy wars, like using sleeper agents to infiltrate U.S. cities. Texas Governor Greg Abbott warned last week that Iranian sleeper cells are a potential threat after a shooting in Austin happened where the suspect was actually
Hold up.
wearing a shirt that read "Property of Allah."
Morgan, thank you.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Okay, let's see the. Okay, hold on. Where's APEC track action? Is it just members of Congress? Right. But he's a governor, so he wouldn't be a part of Congress. So hold up. Some very still over this. Jeff Yoss. Oh. Okay, there we go. Boom. All right.
Thank you. A little later on, Morgan will be back to dig into how long sleeper cells can remain inactive and if they include even our own radicalized civilians.
I wish you saw my reaction to this clip when I first watched it because I literally laughed my ass off. Property of Allah. This is stupid agitation and propaganda, otherwise known as agitprop. They are planting the seeds into the minds of the everyday pleb so that they buy into the propaganda lie when a false flag terror attack occurs on U.S. soil. This is how they plan to try and convince the American citizenry to support an escalation with Iran and stomach the pain of higher gas prices for doing so. Unfortunately, there is probably already a false flag operation that the CIA and Mossad have deep in their pockets that they can roll out if they feel the need to terrorize the population, justify crackdowns on YouTubers like me spreading information that counters their propaganda, and a lot of other 9/11 war on terror tactics to throw the population into a frenzy and prolong this war. Whew. This is worrisome because much of the population is now aware of these false flag tricks and sees through a lot of the propaganda, which means that if they try to pull something like this off, it will have to be big, very big, like 9/11 big. Because Americans simply aren't interested in signing up for another war in the Middle East over a property of Allah sweatshirt.
To our Arab friends, I've tried to help you construct a new Mideast. You need to up your game here. I can't go to South Carolina and say we're fighting and you won't publicly fight. What you're doing behind the scenes, that has to stop. The double dealing of the Arab world when it comes to this stuff needs to end. I go back to South Carolina, I'm asking them to send their sons and daughters over to the Mideast. What I want you to do in the Mideast, our friends in Saudi Arabia and other places, step forward and say, this is my fight too.
Now I want to talk about what Hezbollah and Iran
He said, I'm going to South Carolina. I'm telling them to send their daughters and their sons and daughters to the Middle East.
Been doing to Israel over the last few days. I haven't spoken much about Hezbollah because there's simply so much to cover and focus on just in the Strait of Hormuz. One day soon, however, I will produce a video dedicated to Hezbollah and their tactics because it's truly impressive. But for now, long story short, Hezbollah is alive and well and kicking major ass.
Careful who you try to play games with! Oh my God! Randy Orton! Whoa, the casket!
Two people place the same exact trade. One loses, the other one.
The Israelis that invaded southern Lebanon have experienced painful blowback from the resistance, and Hezbollah has targeted important Israeli radars in the region, further blinding them to incoming missiles and drones coming from both Iran and Lebanon. In this video here, a dash cam captures the moment a Hezbollah missile strikes a satellite installation. The missile strike destroyed Israel's SES Ha'ila satellite station near Beth Shemesh, one of the country's most critical satellite communications teleports supporting global broadcasting, broadband data relay, and potentially sensitive communication infrastructure. So Hezbollah has joined Iran in carrying out the eye-poking strategy of eliminating radars and communication systems that help Israel coordinate its air defenses. And just today, Hezbollah sent 100 missiles into Israel, demonstrating that Israel did not destroy them or their stockpile. This tweet here by an Israeli demonstrates the problem that Israel currently faces with Iran and Hezbollah's missile tactics. Iran and Hezbollah have found weaknesses in the Israeli early missile early warning system and are exploiting them ruthlessly. Here is how. Iran targeted the Qatar-based AN-FPS-132 early warning radar and multiple AN-TPY-2 X-band radars in Jordan, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia. These systems previously provided the long-range detection needed for extended 10 minutes warning. warnings. Hezbollah hit the Ha'ila teleport near Beit Shemesh. That is a crucial satellite communication station. Iran has specifically targeted the Sadot Micha airbase, which houses aero anti-ballistic missile systems and their associated green pine radars.
And what's worse is that these fucking radars cost a lot of fucking money. Don't forget that these radars, and they don't take, you can't just fix it in a couple of days. These take years to make and fix.
Systematically blinding the US and Israeli radar network, Iran has turned a redundant sensor web into a patchwork with serious gaps, exposing missile defense batteries to direct hits. Iran and Hezbollah seem to be working toward a future mass salvo attack where enough of Israel's detection and interception layers have been degraded that more missiles get through. Each strike on infrastructure now is an investment in a bigger attack later. The Qatar radar and UAE THAAD battery being struck reveals that Israel's defense partially rests on American systems that are themselves vulnerable and geographically distant. That's a fragile dependency. Each system is designed for specific threats. A Patriot's battery can handle certain drones, but not long-range ballistic missiles, machine gun fire, or anti-tank missiles. This leaves gaps that adversaries can exploit. When you use an air defense battery to protect another air defense battery, it is no longer protecting civilian areas or targets. In Israel's densely defended environment, this creates painful either-or choices. As a result of all of this, Israelis have since noticed shorter or sometimes no warning times. There is deep frustration in Israel, both among civilians and officials, at its inability to protect citizens from barrages. The lies everyone is hearing on the media that Hezbollah and Iran have been defeated and have no capabilities left only make the frustration worse. So far, Iran and Hezbollah seem to be doing just fine, which bodes well for the axis of resistance as a whole, which by the way includes Ansarullah in Yemen, who have yet to carry out attacks of their own. Ansarullah will likely get involved soon, however, as they have the ability to close the Bab el-Mandeb Strait yet again, which would completely jam maritime traffic from all over the world, further complicating the situation for Western economies. I also want to quickly add that despite the strait being closed, Iran continues to allow Chinese ships through Hormuz and is even exporting oil themselves. Before the war, Iran was exporting 2 million barrels of oil a day. During the war, however, they have increased it to 2.1 million barrels per day, loading up their shadow fleet of tankers to send oil to both China and India. As of now, the US has decided not to attack or seize these ships, probably because they are too busy trying.
Is China getting ready for a war? Why do they need so much resources? Why do they need so much oil?
To intercept
Why do they need more
missiles
oil?
or carrying out attacks on Iran. So for those worried about China's oil supply, it seems that they are still receiving shipments. And as we've covered in previous videos, China is fully prepared for at least 6 months of closure, as they have amassed the largest supply of oil reserves in the world with at least 1.4 billion barrels. So in short, Iran is holding up nicely and has yet to activate all of their partners in the region. They still have many cards to play and are doing a good job increasing pressure on the global energy market to make this situation a headache for both Trump and the Zionists. And their allies in China
already makes
are
everything.
fully prepared to weather a 6-month storm of supply chain chaos. Despite this, however, the war is evolving and Iran continues to get pummeled hard. Recent attacks on their banking system have hurt their ability to pay out salaries during this difficult time. So what do you think? Can Iran continue to hold out? Will oil prices continue to skyrocket? Will there be a false flag on US soil? Let me know what you think down below. I pay very special attention to comments.
Appreciate my brother Propaganda and Co. He always does a good job breaking the videos down for us with updates and showing us what's going on with the Iran war. Yeah, I believe Iran's gonna keep doing what they're doing, and Hezbollah helping Iran is actually what's gonna make them keep going, because now they have another partner in crime to help with the missiles. So yeah, it's gonna make them keep going. So yeah, I think they're just gonna keep putting pressure on Trump to make him decide whether he wants to stay in the war or not. And when we leave, because I want to say we're gonna leave, because I want to say we're gonna get smart and leave, hopefully. But when we leave, Israel's gonna feel some type of way, and I feel like that's when the real shit's gonna start. It's gonna get really bad. So yeah, that's just my thing, my thoughts. But yeah, let's see what Myron has to say about this. I approached her and she had a boyfriend.
No shame.
I approached her and she had a boyfriend, was on the phone with him. Guys, is this acceptable?
Drive by, get your number, and then you decide if you text me, okay?
Sorry, I was on the phone with my boyfriend, but I didn't want him to like.
No, I feel like no.
Oh yeah, that's cooked. End of video right there. That's cooked. Hung up because she didn't want to. She said I didn't want to. What didn't you want him to hear? You give him the other nigga the number? Right. Yeah, that's over. This video's over. No, yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, no, I can see why you're.
And I'm just distracted. Like this video's over. Like the fuck? Why the fuck? First sentence, you're done. Cooked.
Taken, like you're like a good girl. Yeah.
You're very good looking, and I'm sure you're gonna find the.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's Max. Oh yeah, you're done. Done. There's no. Why did we make a 12-minute video of this? There's no way. We would have to go to the next video because she's already cooked. There's no question about it. If there's any guy in here that thinks she's not cooked, you're a cook.
Yeah. I feel like I found her though, you know, but
Where?
right here.
Stop, don't say that.
I know, right? It's sad. It's so sad. All right. Put the number in and you decide to text me, okay? Just as a friend.
I can give you my Instagram.
Oh my God, even worse. She's trying to give. Well, she's trying to give him a way to see her sexually, because of course if she's talking like this, you know, her Instagram is crazy.
Okay.
You know, she got crazy photos on Instagram.
I can't do the number right now.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
If he ever messes up, you know who to call.
Yeah, for sure. You guys live in Delray?
What?
You guys live here in Delray?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is banging his
I'm
head.
Hexam Light on Instagram.
Okay, this is what you guys gotta
I'm
understand.
Hexam Light on Instagram. Like, you know John Eric Hexam, the actor? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, we
He
might
must
not have to
like,
watch this
the
whole video,
uglier
guys.
version of him.
Because
That's like not nice. And
I know.
I don't even need Myron to explain this. This is why. Yeah, hypergamy. Like this is. But like this is what happens when women are with men who they don't want or who they don't want to be with. They do shit like that, or who they don't respect. Or this is what happens when you have a woman who is in that, like Myron says, that feminism hypergamy state where she thinks this is regular to just do like yeah, this is a pretty easy hell nah. There's no way you're going for this, guys. I'm telling you, the guy she has is a placeholder boyfriend. She doesn't really like him. She's just with him because he says yes all the time. Yeah. Feel bad for this guy, but yeah, we don't have to watch this whole video. She's kind of cooked off of that first sentence right there. Appreciate Myron for the video though. Well, let's see what Nick got to say about the war, and we might watch something else before we get out of here.
Look, in a way, I sort of fell for it. In the opening stages of the conflict, when the war started, it looked like it was very one-sided, very asymmetrical. And I said in the early stages, we are obviously winning this conflict. We're winning the war. As it stood, as it was.
Yeah, sure. Even when we bombed the Ayatollah, I didn't want to assume that we was winning the war because, like I said before, Iraq, Afghanistan, Muslims in general, they like dying for the cause. So I would never think killing the leader. We would have to literally, like I said, we would have to kill the guy and literally we would have to put somebody in place. We couldn't let them put somebody in place because, again, the leader just died. They're going to put the person maybe even not worse, but is the same right behind them. They're not going to change the regime. So I didn't think we were winning in the beginning. I thought it might have been a tie, but I didn't assume we were winning.
In that opening weekend, in those first maybe 3 or 4 days. But again, understanding the conflict means you have to understand the weapon systems that are being used, the tactics, the strategic objectives. The war only works for America if it's quick. We have better weapons, but we have fewer of them. and it's not as easy to make them. America's not an industrial power anymore. We don't make the weapons. We don't make enough of them. Our adversaries are the complete opposite. They make tons of weapons, and their weapons are not precise. They're dumb. Our weapons are smart. They're AI. They're connected to satellites. They're very sophisticated, but they're very expensive, and we don't make enough of them. Russia, on the other hand, makes 4 million drones a year. 4 million drones every year, and it's native. Iran makes hundreds of thousands of drones, and they actually design them too. We stole their drone design, their Shahed suicide drone. We just copied that model, reverse engineered it, and made one of our own. And that's actually what we're using in this conflict, although we just have far fewer of them. We're looking to buy drone interceptors or even drones themselves from Ukraine. Again, we don't make them. So this is fundamentally the nature of modern conflict. In the era of the Ukraine war, now in the era of the Iran war,
and what's worse is during all this, the Strait of Hormuz is closed, so we don't. They're destroying the economy while we're trying to figure out how to get more missiles.
Have these big advantages that the great powers think that they have, like Russia going into Ukraine obviously has a manpower advantage, has more equipment, has more money, has a bigger industrial base, and they go in hard and fast, thinking they're going to topple the government and achieve their objectives. There's actually some striking similarities there. And what they then find is that they are ground down by the enemy's defensive capabilities. And it's sort of inverted. In Ukraine, America was supplying all of these defensive weapons for Ukraine and defensive fortifications and intelligence and the Star Shield satellite system. In Iran, it's the reverse. We are now encountering offensive capabilities, actually, which is ballistic missiles, which are very cheap, drones, which are very cheap, mines, unmanned naval vessels, and these are creating a porcupine-like effect and making it extremely complicated to fight the war. So we came in as the vastly superior power, again, with more weapons, more sophisticated weapons, much larger country, thinking that all we had to do was hit Iran hard and then they would fall over. If that doesn't happen, you're in trouble. And that is how the war, as you know, has been playing out. Trump and Israel, in concert, hit Iran with everything they had. We bombed them over 1,200 times in the first 24 hours. We killed their supreme leader. We sunk their navy. And they had already been severely weakened and damaged in the first war a year ago, back in June. And it wasn't just Midnight Hammer, which is the U.S. strike, the one-and-done B-2 stealth bomber strike. It was also Israel, which a year ago pounded them over 1,000 times and destroyed not just some of their nuclear facilities, but also missile launch platforms. They also destroyed a lot of regime targets, not just the IRGC, but also the Basij. So Iran is already in a weakened state. They got hit with everything the U.S. and Israel have. But now we're entering the third week tomorrow night. And again, those core strategic objectives of the United States have not been achieved. The regime has not collapsed, has not toppled, and there is no sign that it's going to anytime soon.
I wouldn't say Iran is in a weakened state. I would just say, again, they're not... They're just getting bombed a lot. I wouldn't say they're in a weakened state though, because like we just saw with Propaganda and Co. is that Hezbollah, they just sent 100 missiles, so the state can't be too weakened, if that makes sense. But I understand what's going on.
How did we actually arrive here at the end of February, now the middle of March? Well, the timeline was sort of interesting. The whole idea for this conflict began, or I could say that the U.S. began to mobilize for the conflict back in January. And the circumstance in January is that there actually was, or at least there appeared to be, an organic uprising in Iran. There were, according to estimates from Western media, which might not be reliable, there were hundreds of thousands of protesters across the entire country, in every major city, across the whole breadth of Iran. And these protests swelled in size. They went on for weeks. And then the Iranian regime cracked down on them, according, again, to Western media, in an indiscriminate and an extremely violent way. And Washington and Israel were under the impression that that violent crackdown might actually fuel the dissent, might actually fuel the opposition to the government. And so when the U.S. and Israel first considered strikes, it was in a circumstance where you actually had, perhaps, a latent anti-government ground force. That perhaps if the U.S. and Israel destroyed Iranian weapons or scattered the IRGC by killing the leadership, destroying regime targets, then maybe the people could actually seize control of government assets and arm themselves, or seize control of infrastructure or government buildings. And in a word, maybe there would be an opening for there to be some instability in Iran. And
if they wanted to.
Like I said, an anti-government movement actually
Iran doesn't
coalesce and become viable to replace
Iran hates America
the
more than they want
revolutionary
regime
Islamic
change.
regime. But that was in January. And the protests appeared to die down almost at the exact same time that we began to ramp up our military mobilization. And by the time the U.S. got all of the assets in place or out of place, by the time we got aircraft carriers and destroyers and half of our Air Force in the Middle East and most of our personnel out of the bases that were not protected by Patriot missile batteries or THAAD systems.
Hold up, y'all. Because he's just brushing up on the war, which is fine, but I post about it every day, so we don't really need to brush up on what's going on. But I did see... Oh, it was on Red Pill. I mean, it was on, like I said, Red Pill. It was on Netflix. The Manosphere documentary was on Netflix? Yeah. Damn, I thought it was on YouTube. Damn it. Damn. Because I saw, it was like a clip on, it was a clip on X that I wanted to watch. So we might actually finish this shit then. Fuck. Fine.
Maybe there's a world where you would have...
Let's watch the clip though, real quick, guys. Let's watch the clip then, and then we'll finish it.
We were talking about in the future that maybe there's a world where you would have more than one wife, right?
She understands that. She knows that could potentially come down in the future.
What do you say about that?
I don't know.
We were talking about in the future that maybe there's a world...
They cut it off so quick you can't even really. It's only 13 seconds. She said, I don't know. Yeah. It's okay. They're not gonna like that. So it's okay. That's fine. Nobody told them to like it. Yeah. But you know what? Let's
save on your commercial auto insurance with Geico. Good as having a great hammer.
Uncensored America. Let's see what let's watch that. Let's go watch the USC. Oh my God! Look at y'all about to fucking get my shit.
Do you realize how much money this will save us?
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app with Base 44.
Finish with USC.
Then last question: do you think the Western?
Yeah, this guy was up here already. Let's get somebody. Oh God.
What's up?
Hello.
Hi.
I have a question about what do you think women should be doing if you do believe that we are...
No, I don't need it.
Now you guys can't call me a misogynist. What's up?
Hello.
Hi.
I have a question about what do you think women should be doing if you do believe that we are supposed to be submissive and following a role of the husband, which I do believe in Catholicism, having the man as a leader. But I do believe in...
It's always a but that comes in. Why?
having an education, which is why I'm here at the University of Florida. And so I just want your opinions on that.
So I understand that we live in a different world. I understand that inflation is high, cost
Sex sandwich silence. Boom.
of living is high. You
Three
need dual income a lot of the
S's.
times to make it. But what I say is, like, I think women should be prioritizing a family and finding a guy over school. I'm not saying, like, don't go to school at all, but I think that women put way too much of an emphasis on education, traveling, being a whore, partying, you know, and having their fun, right? Girls just want to have fun. There's a reason why that song was a hit song since the 1980s, etc. And men are like a distant, like 6th or 7th place. Like in my first book, I talk about this. Like most women, when you ask them, like, hey, peg your priorities, like men in a relationship and marriage is like 6th, 7th place. And it's only until women get older that they start to change their priorities. But by then, a lot of the times, they're not,
Men don't want you.
they're not in a commanding space to
Men
get a
don't
certain
want you, and what's worse is you want the bestest of men. Then you have already achieved a lot. You've gained some money. You've got your living, your way of life, and you don't want to bend most of the time. You don't want to fold. So it's like you just really be hurting you. Y'all be hurting yourself, bro. This shit is crazy.
caliber of guy anymore, right? If you're a 30-year-old woman, right, who's dated around, make $100,000 a year, etc., you're not going to be the same as a guy that makes $100,000 a year that's 30 years old, right? Like men respond to different things than women do, and I think one of the biggest lies we tell women is that, like, getting a career, getting an education is going to be the path to finding a guy, and quite frankly, it actually hurts you by doing that.
And it hurts you because it takes time to get a career. It takes time to build up your money. By the time you do that, you have already aged yourself out of the market because women prime years are from 18 to 20, I want to say 26, 27 maybe. After 27, right, you start losing eggs. As you start losing eggs, you start getting older. You might, even if you maybe still look the same, you're still gonna want to be beholden to a certain lifestyle, and you're not gonna want to give the career up. So you're gonna be looking at a certain group of guys that have a career just the same as you, make the same money or more, and you're gonna be stuck because they have a billion women that want them, and you're just looking at that one person because that's the only guy that can really match up with what you're looking for. So you really just, like I said, you throw yourself out of the market doing that.
Well, I still
Hey,
believe in
get you
getting
another
an
bag.
education, but there is over 50% of marriages that do get divorced. So when it comes to those situations and you have single mothers, most of the time, I mean, you have single mothers.
Most of the time you have single mothers, it's not from divorce.
And alimony, which
Promise
is
you that.
which is not guaranteed. So during that time, should a woman be
Well, also keep
working?
in mind who initiates a divorce 80% of the time.
Women.
It's the women. So, and this is what I'm trying to say, like, this is why feminism is so pernicious, because it incentivizes women to marry you and then divorce you. Because if you look at it, the man in a relationship is supposed to, like, provide, provisioning, protection, etc., right? All these different things. And the woman's supposed to provide sexual access. If you get divorced, you are still on the hook for those responsibilities while she's not. So it's a completely rigged system, which is why I tell guys, like, don't get married with the state. Puts you in a very bad spot, especially if you're a higher earner. Because what ends up happening is women become incentivized to divorce you and take your resources. They transfer the wealth from the state to her. And if you don't comply, you go to jail.
But in the belief, if you do believe in the sacrament of marriage, like in Catholicism, then you wouldn't believe in divorce, and you'd believe in seeking resources instead.
Yeah, that's an ideal situation, but women always reserve.
Yeah, that's if you get if you find a Christian Catholic woman that actually follows her religion to the T, then yeah, sure, that will work. But most women aren't Christian Catholics.
Right, to be Christian and Catholic until they're not happy anymore in the relationship, and then they, become secular for a couple months, initiate the divorce, then they go back. You know what I mean? So divorce is heavily incentivized in our society, and there's an entire industry behind it. We're talking about family court lawyers, judges, court systems. It's a billion-dollar industry.
And what would you propose that your solution to divorce is, if there's so many men that do sleep around and then have that habit going into marriage?
Well, my suggestion is that guys have to understand female nature and pick the right one, and date meticulously and vet women, almost to an excruciating detailed point to make sure that she's not going to come in and fuck your life up.
Right.
Because we have way more to lose than women do.
Did you lose a lot of money?
Bingo.
Sports betting
But that's the problem.
on
Niggas don't want
DraftKings
to
or
bet
FanDuel?
because niggas don't want to vet because they're scared that they might lose the cooch. Oh my God, if I tell her the truth, she's gonna run away. Who cares?
Thank you.
No problem. Good questions.
Then you get back to work,
Myron,
nigga.
what's your view on DEI?
Stupid.
Then why do you still have that black fella on your podcast?
You mean didn't earn it?
Perfect.
Funny joke. Well, I started the podcast with Fresh, and I'm gonna end it with Fresh. I don't leave my people behind.
All right, and I also wanted to talk about a more topical subject about Epstein, Israel, and Jewish influence in the United States.
Sure.
I'm sorry?
Sure.
What is your, how do you think that Jeffrey Epstein got his position in Bear Stearns at such a young age with little experience?
I forgot. Lex Wexner, I think, is the guy who gave him all that money, who got him rich.
Nepotism and being Jewish.
Did it have anything to do with Israeli intelligence?
I think at this point it's pretty much confirmed that he was Israeli intelligence.
I think it's interesting because you've talked about a lot of podcasts about chartdojo.io, and you've talked about all these things and how it's such a useful tool for traders. Don't you think that he could have used that to get into his experience?
Use what?
Chartdojo.io.
I don't know what that is.
You've talked about on several podcasts, Matan's podcast, Abraham's Exchange. You talked about it with Luke Belmar.
Wait, it's called what?
Chartdojo.io.
Chart.
You've talked about it all the time, the back testing trading subject, where it provides you real AI analysis based on real trades.
Okay, I've never.
You've talked about it all the time?
This guy's trying to promote. Yeah, no, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Are you sure?
I don't recall what you're talking about.
But
AI
you've talked
trading?
about it multiple times. You said you support it. You, Fresh, Luke Belmar.
AI trading?
Yeah. Back testing trading simulator that provides real AI analysis on your trades on real historical market data.
No.
You've talked about it all the time.
I never have, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
The ASU frat leader profit mocked clavicular because he used it.
All right. This guy just, yeah, I don't know what he's talking about, but that's fine.
Thank you. Shukran.
All right. That was strange.
Thank you.
No, I don't think I've ever heard
So
that
was that
before.
Elad in the back? It's all good, man. Hi.
Hi. So you think women
He's probably
deserve
Jewish, chat. Leave him alone.
So you
What's
think
up?
women deserve
Real
less?
life chat.
So background, I've been enlisted in the military. I'm in ROTC right now.
Okay.
Why do you think a woman in the military is any less than a man except for physical aspects? First of all. Second of all, 75% of healthcare support workers are women. What are you going to do if all those women
This is why, right here. Yap. Yap.
start going home and making sandwiches and that's all they do? What is your economy going to do? What is your military going to do? Think about it. Like, actually think about that. Tell me about that.
Survive.
You're in the
Thrive.
American military?
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay. Because you have an accent, so I wasn't sure if you're like, are you like dual citizen?
Yeah.
What country?
Britain. And I'm also a Zionist Jew.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
you think I have loyalty to Israel? What about
Oh, that's why you think you should be in the military. Duh. It's not everyone, but it's always them type shit. Like, fuck.
what about to America? What about to Britain that I would proudly serve and die for?
Well, first and foremost, I think having dual citizens in the armed forces is a big L. That's not good. And then number two, the reason why I don't think women should serve in combat positions is because women are physically inferior to men in every way.
What
And I
about all
think
the
it weakens-
non-combat positions? Think
was that?
about that.
What was that?
Non-combat positions. The army's not just grunts.
Of course, that's why I said combat positions. They shouldn't be in the front lines because I'd
That's
be pissed
fine.
off if I was in the infantry and I had a woman in my squad that can't even drag me to safety. You're only as strong as your weakest component. And,
Okay,
you know,
bar that. What happens if all the women go home and they just like making babies all the time and in the kitchen making sandwiches?
we'd have a
What
way
about
better society.
I was say
We'd have
we'd
a
be
way better
straight.
society.
We wouldn't be
Well,
getting
that's
replaced by these
47%
fucking immigrants.
Of the workforce is women. So
Yeah,
after they
that's-
all go home,
Yeah. Yeah.
what happens to your economy?
It would be better.
You think it would be better?
Yeah. Yeah. You guys would be making sandwiches and we'd have nuclear families and the men can work and, you know, do what they're supposed to do.
It's
And
2026. We have dual income households that can still barely get by.
yep. And this is why feminism is a huge problem.
So you're blaming feminism for that,
yeah, it's led to a lot of problems.
not
yeah.
the economy, not like Republican governors, not the government, tariffs, not Trump.
Well,
doing
that's
all
another
that.
problem. Like, women have the right to
Definitely not
vote.
that.
I think we should take the 19th away, too.
That's
I think we
crazy.
need to repeal the 19th as well.
She don't know what the fuck to say. Cooked.
Oh, they get triggered and just walk.
Cooked. She didn't know what she said. Not to vote. Motherfucker.
Go ahead, okay.
I don't get to say.
Okay.
That's nuts that we have dual citizen people in our armed forces. That's crazy.
Hi, Myron.
Yo.
So you've been talking a lot about all the problems with women and all the harm they've been doing to men. But
Well,
I think
feminism.
With feminism. But I think
That includes
like,
both men and women.
Lots of
That
women
was
are
good, Richard.
being exploited and victimized by men. So I just wanted to know, do you stand in solidarity with fellow UF student and American patriot Maddie Kowalski?
I don't know who that is, but that's
Tragic.
you?
Maddie Kowalski is a great person.
Okay. I'm assuming that's probably you or something.
She was victimized and had videos leaked against her will on this campus.
I'm not familiar with the story.
Very sorry. Thank you, Myron.
No worries.
If you struggle with
The
focus,
fuck was
this
that?
sound might change everything.
Bro was shaking and everything. Like, what are you scared of, bro?
Yo, what's up? What makes you think that someone is worth something? What makes someone worth something?
Oh God, not the Great White Knight.
If you, no, I'm done.
Yeah, can you be a bit more specific? That's a very broad.
What traits of a person or qualities makes them worth something? You like to say that women are worth less, so you must know what makes someone worth something.
Women deserve less and worth less are two different things.
A girl that's not a slut.
Wow, that was so philosophical, bro. Come on.
Yeah, it's
bro.
pretty straightforward.
Any woman with self-respect would never talk to you, bro. So tell me, why, what makes you think that women deserve less, bro? And
He did just say a slut though. A slut would deserve less. It's just like a homeless nigga would deserve less. I wouldn't expect the homeless nigga to have the world. Wouldn't expect him to deserve the world or get the world. Same thing as a whore. They're basically like the same thing. Like they're like, it's like a fat bitch. They're the same thing.
And I know so many great women with pride, self-respect, morality. Bro, what type of woman do you talk to on the daily basis?
Facts.
What are the women that you attract
Facts.
that you talk to?
Facts,
What type of
Richard.
woman are they? Not saying that there's anything wrong with OnlyFans girls. They may
There's a lot wrong with them.
they may
Bro
lack
said
some,
not saying anything's wrong with OnlyFans girls, the one who actually show their vaginas and sell coochie like online prostitutes. He said there's not saying anything wrong with online prostitution. There's nothing wrong with that. So why are we saying women deserve less? Even though OF models who are showing their fucking vaginas on camera for money, they deserve as much as the girl who's a virgin and knows how to keep her legs closed and not be a whore. They're equal. Yeah.
self-respect. That
All
doesn't
right.
make them worthless. They may feel like they're worth less and less, but that doesn't make them worth less, bro. But those are the women you talk to that feel like they are worth less. You've never talked to an actual great woman in your life with pride, with humanity, with dignity. You have no idea what those words even mean, bro, because you don't convey it. You don't express it. You are hurting these women and you don't care.
He's trying to fuck somebody over there. He's trying to fuck somebody in the crowd. One of the girls he was talking to is here, and she was very sad about what he was saying. He's trying to smash.
What do you think of morality, bro? Is morality an important trait? To be moral and compassionate and empathetic, is that important?
Because I'm compassionate and empathetic doesn't mean I have to be a fucking simp clown. Okay? You don't have to be a fucking simp and give a girl everything and now you're not empathetic. Like,
damn, this guy's really trying to get laid tonight. Okay.
oh God.
Yeah, so here's the thing, dude. Men and women are different, okay? Girls.
Most of the women he interviews aren't great, but that's because they choose not to be. It's not like they're getting girls from a specific demographic. They're just picking up women who have Instagrams. that just shows you how most women are. Like, most women are this way. It's not like he's telling them to be this way. This is what I was saying earlier. Like, they're not great because most women aren't great. They're just not great, bro. I'm sorry.
That are sluts are not respected because it's easy. Guys that are capable of being sluts are respected because it's hard. It's not easy for guys to attract women, but it's very easy.
There aren't many good women. There aren't too many of them. That's the problem that people aren't understanding. Like, there aren't too many of good women out there. Not saying there aren't any, but most women nowadays are okay with being IG whores or being promiscuous.
For women to attract men, it's just very simple. So the barrier to entry is low, so therefore it's not respected. As far as like, go ahead.
You didn't answer my question. I'm asking about morality. Do you believe morality and empathy and compassion are important things in this world?
Well, you can be polite to girls that are 304s, but that doesn't mean you have to date them.
Dog, nothing you say is polite. You disrespect their humanity in every way. That is the
For telling the truth? If you do OnlyFans that you're a whore?
Bro, no.
Right, like, that's how is he being disrespectful? And what's worse is he only goes with energy. So if you're being disrespectful, if you're trying to be smart, he's just going to be disrespectful back to you.
Man who has ever been treated well by a woman would act like you. You've clearly been scarred horribly, bro. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that happened. Whatever happened to you, I am so sorry that it has made you that way. I would hate to live a life where I'm a shitty person, bro. That would make that is the saddest, the darkest life possible. And I feel sorry for you, bro. You have no compassion. The things that make us human, you have none of, bro.
Besides your emotional arguments, like, what is your actual, like, what is your actual argument?
That women have pride, dignity, humanity, and you deny them all of that. What defines dignity? Self-respect, strength.
Okay, so
self-worth.
if she's selling coochie online, how does she have self-respect? What are we thinking right now? Like, what are we doing right now? Gaslighting. Like, what are we doing right now?
Humility. Yes, exactly.
And these are all traits that OnlyFans girls and thoughts don't have.
Yeah,
Right,
the only ones you talk to, bro. That's why you don't know, because they're the only. I'm sorry, because those are the only ones that you talk to.
No, we
That's
brought
why
plenty
you
of
do
girls
not
on our
know.
show.
All the girls aren't just OnlyFans girls. Yes, some of the girls are OnlyFans girls, but not every girl on there is just an OnlyFans girl. Most girls just are fucking dumb, bro. It's okay. It's okay. Unfortunately, we've been in this feminist-led society since like 1970. It's all right. It is all right. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Most females are just, when we're saying dumb, we're talking about relationship dumb. Like, she may be able to read a book, but she doesn't know how to keep a man. It's a big difference.
They have PhDs, master's degrees, higher education. We brought girls from all different walks of life, man.
And you, I'm sure you disrespected them, huh?
Well, a lot of them are dumb, if we're going to be honest.
Right.
Not
I
all,
just
but
said
a lot
that.
of them are. A lot of them lack critical thinking skills despite higher education.
All right, so you never answer my question. Women with dignity, self-respect, humility, self-worth. There's none of them. They don't exist on this planet because I know thousands. I know.
Of course they
hundreds of
exist,
them.
but they're a minority.
All right, so then some women do deserve equal as men. You just admitted it. They have dignity. Why would they deserve any less? You just admitted it.
Look, bro, like,
if you want to make a
it's
generalization,
not all or nothing. Like, we're speaking in generalities here.
Oh, you're speaking in generalities.
Yes,
How
this
do
is how the world works. We speak in generalities.
Yeah, you only know what's general.
There's always going to
those
be
are the
exceptions to
only
the
women you
rule
talk to.
every time. But what I'm saying for the guys here is that the dating landscape has changed significantly, and guys need to prepare for the new normal. Your methodology of being a simp no longer works, okay? Like, you know, putting on the cape for women and being the nice guy and fighting for them and everything else like that, that's not respected.
The problem, and the reason it's not respected, is because everybody is doing it. There's a billion of them niggas in her DMs doing the same shit you doing, times 10 maybe. Might even send her 100. You didn't send her shit. He might have even sent her 100. So that's the reason it's not respected anymore. Niggas, there's too many of y'all doing that shit.
Okay.
Regardless of if they, whatever they lack that you think they lack, they're still human beings. So you think it's okay to hurt other human beings. That's your whole, bro, you are hurting people. I don't care whether they're women, whether they're the race.
This nigga was raised by a single mother, no father. Like, this nigga sounds like a little girl. You're just okay with hurting their feelings? Like, you're gonna hurt their feelings.
that you discriminate
Gives a
against,
fuck.
you are hurting people. Do you not care that you are hurting people, bro?
The only thing I can do is tell the truth. I'm not in control of other people's feelings and how they
Bro,
respond to the
you haven't made a
truth.
single
So
philosophical
if I tell the truth,
bro, you haven't made a single philosophical argument. I'm giving you
What
real
philosophical
profound
argument are you talking about?
philosophical arguments.
no,
and
you've
you're
just
an-
been
and
like
you're- bro, you're-
vomiting emotional arguments.
Bro, you're answering them with women deserve less because they're sluts. That is your argument, bro. How did you rise to fame as an intellectual? Calling a woman a slut is not an argument.
No, I'm saying men shouldn't commit to sluts.
Okay. All right, so that's your
Big
argument.
difference.
No, but you're actually saying women deserve less. So I want, and you're saying you're making generalizations, but saying women deserve less, that doesn't sound like a fucking generalization.
It is.
Woman.
When you date a girl or when you're dealing with women, you have to give them less. In today's landscape, you can't be a gentleman anymore. Chivalry is dead, and women killed it.
Give me a philosophical argument as to why.
He just said it. What the
Women have
fuck is
changed.
wrong with these
They have their own
niggas?
money. They have their own status. They're educated now. So a nice regular guy no longer cuts it. So men not only have to be attractive and competent and, educated and have money. They have to compete. So what I tell guys is you have to deal with the new normal because average women no longer want average men. So you must be above average.
Okay, that's.
So this is why they deserve less.
Okay, I'll respect that first part, but I don't
Bro
understand
can't
how
think.
that equates to them deserving less, bro. They've elevated themselves in society. Why do they deserve less now?
Yeah, see, this rhetoric.
Average women don't want average men. Okay? So that's why when you deal with women, you have to deal with them in a certain sense of you're not going to give her everything. Because the average nigga is going to give you everything you want and more. Okay? This is what you have to get in your head.
Rhetoric right here is a big part of the problem.
Bro?
Like
I think hate speech is a part of the problem.
Hate
I think
speech?
Look at his hands,
inhumanity
look at
is
his
part
hands.
of the problem.
It's really truth speech.
Bro,
because
you hear how your only argument is I'm speaking the truth. I give you an argument and you say, yeah, but I'm speaking the truth. That's
I
your
am.
one argument.
Men and women are biologically different.
You just made the
and
same argument.
Here's the thing. Men and women are biologically different, and your egalitarian worldview of, pedestalizing females is just not going to work for
I'm
the
not
majority of
putting
guys.
them on a pedestal. I'm saying
you quite literally are.
I'm
Quite
putting them on
literally
a
are.
pedestal compared to your terms, but I'm saying they deserve the same amount as us, bro. They are human
I just
beings.
told you egalitarian.
I know many great
equality
women.
doesn't work.
I
between
know
men and
many
women.
great women, and if they have to struggle to survive to do OnlyFans, it's because men put them in that position, bro. You need.
Oh my God, this is worse. Is he Jewish? No, let me stop. But this is horrible. Like, this nigga's like, oh my gosh.
Some fucking historical context, bro.
Oh,
Yo, even if they are doing OnlyFans and even if they are wrong for it, they're still human fucking beings, bro. Treat people with fucking dignity. Have some fucking respect, bro. They're
I can treat you with dignity and not want to be your boyfriend because you're a whore. It's like I'm saying, I can hold the door open for the OnlyFans girl, but I'm not going to get in a relationship with her. How hard is it for this nigga to understand that? It's not that hard. It's like 1 + 1 = 2, but this nigga wants to get to 4 so fast.
humans. All right, I'm gonna end on that.
All right.
Thank God.
There you go. That's actually very
Super simp.
interesting and revealing, guys. That is why women behave the way that they do.
Because there's niggas like this in the DMs. Like, your pride and your dignity, and you just, without you, we wouldn't be able to. You're just so amazing, and y'all are just the essence of reality. And oh my gosh. Yeah. They're the reason why these fucking whores act like hoes on Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok and do all this goofy ass shit. Because it's them niggas in the comments. You should be able to do whatever you want. You should be able to show your ass and nobody objectify you. Nobody look at you. You should be able to walk around butt naked and nobody say nothing to you. Why would they say anything to you? Because they're fucking nasty men. Oh man, this is amazing we got today. Amazing work we got today. But appreciate y'all for stopping by. Shout out to Richard in the chat today on the FB chat, chatting. Appreciate you, brother. Nice easy Friday today. We caught up with Iran and Israel a little bit. And we laughed at a couple USC students. Not too bad at all. We're gonna be live on Monday, of course, back at it. Hopefully nothing crazy happens over the weekend. I want to start knowing if something happens over the weekend, would you want me to go live on like a Saturday or a Sunday to cover it or not? I'm gonna make a poll on Facebook, see what that does. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. You know, we don't go too long. I don't want to keep nobody here forever. We like to catch up and get out. We got stuff to do. We got things to go, places to be. But yeah, I appreciate everybody. I will see y'all boys later. Peace.
The bitch shaking it, showing it. You this, you that. We laughing at them together. Oh! So stop treating these like they mean something.
Let's go to TikTok.